very conscious. It's not a thing that wasn't talked about in the beginning. And he's very much about, Daniel was kind of like, he never wanted anyone to ever see the same thing twice, because that's kind of a little bit boring. And he has to kind of, like you mentioned before, he evolved the character, mentally, so faster, more efficient, kind of, more mentally astute. But his physicality has got to match that as well.
Yeah.
So again, like you mentioned before, first one, big, imposing, can do my job. Very kind of like capable of doing the job that I've been asked to do, and the character that I'm kind of portraying. But then we get to Quantum. Let's kind of like make this character now. He's evolved. So mentally he's evolved. Let's evolve the physical side of things. Let's kind of like bring the imposing kind of like Bond down to more efficient. So let's kind of like drop some muscle tissue. Let's speed things up, more agility. And then we kind of like get on to kind of like Skyfall, exactly the same again. Let's evolve the character. Let's push it a little bit further. Maybe a bit leaner. Clothes are looking like, impeccable, like they always kind of like do. You don't want to be in a suit and looking like you're a doorman. You want to be kind of, they're looking absolutely, immaculate. And then you start to get to, the Spectres and stuff like that. Again, trying to kind of like evolve it, but they just get to a stage where it's starting to become now incrementally. You're not seeing a huge change in physique. You're only maybe seeing a change now in speed and agility. His body has kind of evolved to this, but he's getting faster. He's getting more agile, and he's kind of like he's becoming more efficient. So he doesn't have to use his body so much anymore, because the mental side of things has really kind of like evolved. And like you'll see kind of like in No Time to Die, he's evolved again, but he's evolved in a way of kind of like, I've maintained what I've got, but I've aged a little bit. And that's kind of like, that's the thing, is like, you look at someone, when, especially with the series, is that 38, I think, was kind of like his age around Casino Royale. And then you kind of like, you're still being asked to do the same things at kind of like 50. Yeah, it hurts a little bit more. It takes a little bit longer. You have to kind of like now start to think about, I've got to train for my age, and kind of like do things that are not so maybe egotistical as well. Because typically kind of like when you're, what's really difficult is that your metrics change. So in your early years, your metrics are size, strength, what am I lifting, what's on the bar, kind of like what, it's all those are your metrics, but your metrics change with age. And that's what's really interesting. But the metric that you can't measure, which I always kind of like to say, is the metric you can't measure is what you feel inside. We can use all, whether it's like strength, body fat, aesthetic. These are all metrics that we can either see, or we can measure, or we can, we can use a bit of tech to kind of, but you can't kind of like, there's no metric for feeling. And that's the interesting thing. If you're feeling really, what's the metric for kind of like great mental health? That is it you wake up in the morning with with zest, and and that's the thing that you have to, with age, you've got to kind of like, you've got to change your metric. And I think that was what we decided as we were both getting older and going through the process, that your metrics just change a little bit.